I'm Mark Laucke and I'm a flour miller, fourth generation flour miller, and we are standing at my flour mill in Bridgewater on Loddon in the centre of Victoria, and it's here because it's the best place to have a flour mill. All around us we've got fantastic farming land and great farmers, and they can provide us the wheats that we need of every variety and quality so that we can make an extremely diverse range of flours. And on the other side of us we've got not only Melbourne, which is the food capital of Australia in many ways, we can also go through the ports of Melbourne and export our high value products to people overseas. This mill here is a result of 20 years of planning. It's a brand new flour mill, it's innovative, leads the world in many areas. The key thing is that it's totally able to make an extremely wide range of flours based on being totally adaptable to all sorts of grists. It puts about 10 tonnes of product through the mill every hour, but that's not the point. The point is it does exactly what we want it to do, because what we want to do is make consumers very happy with the products that are made from that flour. Flour has actually got a bad reputation recently, I think, because people don't actually understand what it is anymore. The fundamentals of food have been actually lost. We've been chasing our tail, worrying far too much about hygiene and things like that, and maybe even purity, when really we live in a world that's very organic. Our food is organic, and I don't mean the definition of organic with respect to certified organic. I'm really talking about the fact that we live in a world that's full of lots of complex microorganisms, and there's that whole wide range of complex microorganisms in our digestive system and should be in our food. Now, humans evolved from hundreds and thousands of years ago, and Paleolithic man was eating ground grain and the fruit that was left and the meat that was left from other scavenging animals. Ground grain, as they ground it, they wet it, and after they wet it, it started fermenting, and when they wanted to dry it out and move on, they threw it on a fire to dry it out. They had bread before wheat, as we know, even existed. And so it was a staple part of their diet, and it was part of our evolution as humans that we were eating fermented food, that which is we know today as bread. As soon as we move away from those fundamentals, we are actually less healthy. And so grains, we need to eat grains. When we do eat grains, they should be fermented, and the longer we can ferment them, the better. So if we start eating grain-based foods that aren't fermented, we are increasingly at risk of an adverse health benefit. So really, that's what's wrong with wheat today. It's suffering bad press because we're not eating our traditional foods created in our traditional methods. What we do here first and foremost is recognise the science behind the belief. So to us, there is no fable, there is no yarn, it's strictly science. We try and understand, and I went to university to do biochemistry. And so I understand the biology of all of these things. So what we do with milling is, right from the very start, we try and control and preserve the biology of the grain that we source. So the grain itself is alive. We try and keep it alive. When we grind grain up in whole meal, when we want to preserve the intrinsic quality of the grain, and we do, we can actually sprout the wheat germ that sits in that ground whole meal. That's unique, and that's because of the fact that we treat it so carefully. And so all of the components of the grain, even though we separate them and bring them back together again, the reason we do it is to preserve the integrity and the biochemistry and the biology of what is there as a basis for a traditional food for the benefit of humans, a health benefit, not just nutrition, but health. I'd like to see people truly understand what they're eating. I'd like to see people pay actually more interest in their food, not just as fuel for their bodies, but in the Mediterranean sense, where it's part of a tradition and enjoyment and sharing. It's part of a lifestyle. If people look at food and are passionate about their food as being part of their life and their lifestyle and their health and their enjoyment, everything changes. People start then choosing their food based upon how it's suitable for what they want to achieve with their life, and part of that is human health. So what I really want to do is have people re-energise their view on food and start eating the food that they enjoy and understand why they should enjoy it.